Welcome back. What's up, guys? Today we wanted to talk about something a little bit different. Mostly the idea for this video kind of started off because I got something in the mail, and that was actually a letter from Honda congratulating me on my 2nd anniversary with this car. So for those of you who do not know, I drive a 2017 Honda Civic Si. I have the sedan. So I kind of want to talk about just about my experiences with it, what it's like 2 years after. And so starting off, the drive. When I first got the car, this was I had bought this car coming off of owning a Scion FRS, so around the same 200 horsepower. I was kind of already used to the 200 horsepower, so it wasn't like a huge power boost or anything. I definitely enjoyed it more than driving my Corolla previous to the FRS. 200 horsepower, it's enough for a teenager to get in trouble with, you know. It's more than enough power to really start to experiment on what it could be like to drive a little bit more aggressively. And over time, you start to kind of get numb to it, because 200 horsepower really only feels like a lot if you've only ever driven cars with like 130. But after you get used to it, it starts to get kind of dull. Now, I don't mean that the car itself was dull, it's just the drive starts to get a little dull. But that's when a little spark of, Honda genius comes in, and that's the sport button. I constantly tell myself that I forget why the sport button exists on a manual car, and then on this car, I turn it on and I punch the throttle, and like, wow, it comes to life, like you could really feel the difference between not using sport and using sport. It seems like the car becomes a lot more responsive, it handles better overall. So definitely it's a good way to transition from, just commuting to work and maybe having a little bit of fun on your way to work. So after 2 years of doing this, I really realized that it's very nice to have that sport button, because it kind of gives you a small taste of, having a bit more of a fun car. It makes the car feel more powerful than it actually is. At 205 horsepower, it's not very powerful, but I do definitely enjoy driving it around still to this day. It's one of these cars where pretty much no matter how many times I go get groceries with it, it's fun every single time. So definitely after 2 years, I do not regret this purchase. All right, so pretty much the second reason why I really do enjoy having this car, even after 2 years, the reliability. So, okay, Honda has a huge reputation for having extremely reliable cars that basically last forever. And while the reliability hasn't been horrible, it definitely hasn't been. I have had a couple issues. So for example, in less than 2 years, my battery had completely died, and I had, I've actually have a video of me replacing that battery, so you guys should go check it out. I'll link it here. I'll put a little thing right there. That's where it's going to be at. But yeah, like, I had to replace the battery. It had just completely died on me, wasn't holding a charge anymore. And that was only 2 years into owning the car. Apart from that, I have had a couple issues with the car not idling very well. It idles very poorly at times. And I mean, I changed my, I do regular maintenance. I do all my own oil changes and stuff like that. And I make sure that everything gets done correctly. But despite that, we've had a bit of issues with it. I've taken it to the Honda dealership, and honestly, that's one of the reasons why it hasn't really been much of a problem, is because I've taken it to the Honda dealership and I've had zero issues with getting them to fix it. For pretty much every issue I've had so far, they've been able to fix my problem same day, and I haven't been charged a dime for it. So I'm really, really happy that they've really stood behind their product as well as they have. So the other thing I kind of wanted to talk about after 2 years of owning it is definitely the fun factor of it. So I kind of touched on this earlier with the whole sport mode thing on the car, and it's still very fun to drive. But this is definitely not the kind of car that I would take up on a canyon run, at least not yet. I definitely think this car can use a bit of modification before you take it on any kind of like serious performing or any serious driving. It rides really high. So this is a car that would really benefit from having something like a coilover setup, probably some nicer, stickier wheels. It comes with some Goodyear Eagle Sports. Pretty good wheels. Haven't really had any problems with, you know, normal daily driving, but they wear very quickly. And as far as, you know, like tire ratings go, they're not necessarily the best. They get outperformed by pretty much every other major wheel on the market. So if, you know, you're as unlucky as I am, because I've had to replace pop tires now like 4 times. I've replaced at least every tire once. So if you run into that same issue that I've run into, spend a bit of extra money, get yourself some better tires. Obviously, if you have the money and you want to really go all out on brand new tires, I really recommend the you know, the Pilot Sports, the Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's. Probably the nicest ones you can get. But apart from that, yeah, it's been a really fun car, really reliable, and I have very little complaints with the reliability. Steering, it's been dead on this entire time, and it handles really well, actually. Despite the fact that it does ride pretty high, it handles really well. It's very responsive. It does have a bit of a wider turning radius, but I mean, that's not absolutely horrible. So yeah. All right, so reason number 4. We're on 4 now, I think. Reason number 4, storage. Wow, I had no clue how much I really missed having storage space in my car. Like I said, coming from a Scion FRS, where you can fit basically your hopes and dreams if you're me, because there's not very many. But, like, I have no space for a lot of stuff now. Like, there's actual space for people in the back seats. If you own a Scion FRS and you ever have to carry people behind you, I am so sorry. Good luck driving comfortably with someone behind you. I'm 6 feet tall, so I need my leg room, you know. But yeah, with this car, I could have people behind me, and I'm so comfortable, and they're comfortable, and I have a trunk with actual space in it now, and that's great. It's overall, for the overall size of the car, there's a good amount of storage space, and it's really comfortable. It's a very comfortable space with enough leg room for pretty much all of your passengers as well as yourself. It's really hard to complain about the space inside this car because, I mean, aside from, nothing, you know, there's a lot of storage space. There's a bunch of cubbies everywhere that you could actually fit things in, unlike some other cars that have like really small cubbies and you could fit basically dirt in there. But yeah, no, you actually have enough storage space for everything. The infotainment screen, even after 2 years, it's been great. I'm so glad that, you know, 2 years ago, this was a car that came, you know, from the factory with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay enabled. The stock infotainment, it's not good. It's pretty bad. I tried using it, but I mean, realistically, just use Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. I have an Android, it says Android Auto. It's so much cleaner, so much nicer, and the voice assistant stuff, it works really well. So yeah. And final thing I want to talk about was the maintenance of the car. So as far as like the MPG, personally, I get about 24 miles to the gallon, which is horrible, but you know, you have fun while driving, so why not? The oil changes. This car does burn a lot of oil. It may just be me as a driver, possibly, right? Like, I'm not going to discount that theory, but it does burn a lot of oil. So if you have one and you haven't had any issues with oil, then, you know, kudos to you. You must have tons of self-control. But other than that, like, the oil, it's really bad. Like, in about 5,000 miles, and on synthetic, you know, you usually can go up to 7,000, but on this car, on full synthetic, I'll usually go about 5,000 miles before my oil is just completely black. and that's usually at the interval which I change it. Apart from that, you know, air filters are almost always good. The tire wear is more likely due to just my horrible driving than it is the car itself. Other than that, I haven't really had any issues maintenance related. Oh, actually, yes. So about a year into owning the car, my AC it just died on me. Well, it didn't die, it still blew air, just not cold. But again, I took that to the Honda dealer. They weren't able to find a leak or anything like that, but they just went ahead and topped me off and with the refrigerant, and I've been good ever since. So I haven't really had any issues since then. But other than that, the maintenance on it has been great. It's, you know, doing my own oil changes. It's very, very easy to get to, very accessible. It's not at all difficult. So it's definitely an easy car to care for. And yeah, just like I said, I haven't had really any big issues with it. So after, I guess in conclusion, after owning this car for 2 years, it's been a really nice ride. It's been very, very, it's not what I thought I'd be getting, you know? Now, having said that, I do have my reservations about the car. So I don't want to touch too much on that in this video. I kind of want to keep this video very positive and, you know, just talking about the stuff that I do like about the car. I will definitely be making a video here shortly about the things that I don't like about it. But like I said, we'll save that for another video. Overall, I've really enjoyed the car. I feel like there could have been worse decisions for me to make as far as car purchasing. If I could do one thing different, I would get the coupe, because the sedan is nice, but I use the back of my car like storage, not really for carrying passengers. So I feel like the overall look of the coupe, it's much nicer than the design of the sedan. It's just small minor differences, but you know, just personal preference. Either that or don't buy the SI, buy the Sport and get the hatch. I really like the hatchback. I didn't think I'd like it at first, but now seeing other people have it, I really like it. So yeah, it's pretty much it. That's my advice for buying a 2017 Honda Civic if you still decide to get one. Other than that, guys, thank you all very much for watching the video. I really appreciate all the support I've gotten so far. We're at 6 subscribers. I hope no one unsubscribes after this. No, we're at 5. We are at 5 total subscribers right now. So thank you to the 3 subscribers that joined since the last video. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you guys. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, turn on the bell notification, because chances are, with as small of a channel as I am, you're probably not going to get notified unless you have the bell icon, you know, clicked on. And yeah, I really appreciate your guys' support, and comment something. Let me know what your experiences have been with the Civic. If you have a Civic, if you have an older Civic, just let me know how you guys have, you know, how your Civic has treated you. Like I said, after 2 years, I have really enjoyed mine. I have very little complaints, but I want to know what you guys think. How have you guys been? Or maybe you guys bought a car that you really regret buying. Let me know in the comments down below. Next video should be out shortly as well. I've had a bit more extra time, so we're recording a little bit more frequently now. But yeah, either way, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate all the support. And don't forget to follow my Instagram. Still taking photography videos. So yeah, thank you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.